From the great halls of their house, there are assembled three who hope to one day be the world's greatest driving heroes. Created from the cosmic legends of the universe comes our team captain, the Vision, Bill Fisher, their soon-to-be Wonder Woman, Vicki Fisher, and our Batman, the master of tools, gadgets, and all things mechanical, our mild-mannered, soon-to-be millionaire, Alan Danvers. Their mission, to fight injustice, share what is right and wrong, to get you out of your house and come out racing with us, and serve all mankind. They are the Garage Heroes in Training Team.
Welcome. We are the Garage Heroes in Training Amateur Endurance Racing Team, and we would like to welcome you to join our extended racing team. Our goal is to help get everyone out to their race car. What kind of car? What kind of racing? Well, it doesn't really matter to us. We hope to show you that even you, if you've ever had any interest in driving your car close to the limit, there really is no reason you can't come out and give it a go. We hope to be able to see that anyone can do it, even us. So come out with us and enjoy the ride. I'm your host, Alan, for this team interview part 2 episode of the Garage Heroes in Training.
I'm Vicki.
And I'm Bill.
Great. So what we like to do a lot of times is just start out with talking about what we've been working on lately. So who wants to give it a go? Vicki, you up?
Well, this is going to be a continuation of our part 2. So, what have I been working on? What have I been working on?
The world's waiting, bated breath to hear.
I know. Well, mostly, we're starting to roll into the holiday season, so I'm starting to get stuff a little bit ready for the holiday season. As for the racing, not too much, although I do know that we are going to be camp sharing with Three Pedal Mafia. So as of probably this upcoming week, I'll start doing our prep for the Atlanta race.
Anything change with the Atlanta race?
Yeah, we were supposed to be having, the everyday drivers were supposed to be coming, but unfortunately they got swamped, so they're going to have to cancel on us. So that makes us sad. So now we only have 3 drivers, so we're going to have to reach out to see if we can pull in some friends and see if anybody might be interested in driving with us.
Well, I'm glad you weren't saying we were going to have to buckle up and work harder, because I wasn't really sure how that'd work out.
Yeah, but we're definitely going to be buddying up with 3 Pedal, so I think it's going to be easier for us to manage, so it'll be good.
Very nice, very nice. We've done this before. It's nothing but a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
No. I think we're starting to get more comfortable in it, so it'll be good. Bill will be driving everything down, so it'll be nice. All right. How about you, Alan? What have you been up to this week?
What have I been working on? Well, we are getting ready for our next race, which is in Road Atlanta, coming up here early in December. So we have to get some more work done on our pickup truck. We need to work on a little front aerodynamic situations going on. I've sorted out a few mock-ups, but now we just got to get some heat to that metal and weld some pieces in place and see what it looks like. Bill and I have been talking about some tire choices and sizes for getting us some serious top-end speeds on the straightaways. We haven't really come to a resolution yet, but we're certainly coming up with some good ideas. What else are we working on? We also have a transplant coming up for our backup vehicle, our number 2 vehicle right now, if it was our 74 Capri, who needs a little heart transplant. So we found a suitable donor in a Chevy V6 with a 5-speed transmission, and we were just discussing some other parts and pieces we may be stealing from that to put in our Capri. So that's about all I've been working on. Oh, and we had parent-teacher conferences at work the other night, so that was a fabulous 12 hours at work, but nothing but good stuff. Bill, what are you working on?
I am the car transporter extraordinaire. So I landed on Friday from a trip to LA, then drove to New York State, drove to Alan's house in Connecticut, found out that the Taconic Parkway considers a car trailer a trailer by Mr. Policeman.
Really?
Yeah, well,
So what happened?
So he wasn't thrilled with me. I claimed to be stupid, which wasn't too hard, and said, hey, I'm picking this up for a friend. He asked if I could do it. And, I don't really tow anything. It's a U-Haul trailer. He's like, but there's lots of signs. I said, yeah, but it said trucks, and I'm not really a truck. I'm a pickup truck. And he's like, well, it says no trailers. I'm like, well, that's not really a trailer. I'm thinking like 18-wheeler trailer. So anyway, for the first time in my life, I got out of a traffic ticket, and then I drove.
Look, and you didn't even have to show your knee.
I didn't.
Well, he's saying he didn't, but I don't have the videotape, so I don't really I'm not buying it. For those of you not aware, the fabulous Taconic State Parkway is a north-south two-lane divided highway in New York, which specifically excludes any type. They really just want passenger cars. It's pretty tight, windy. Certainly fun if you're driving spiritedly, which I never do. I always follow all speed limits, of course. And I'm so surprised that you didn't get locked up quick for doing that, because he was very not happy with you, I'm sure. He or she is the police officer. Yeah.
No, he was not. He was not happy with me, and
I'm really glad you were able to feign enough ignorance and stupidity to get your way out of it, though. That's certainly commendable. I 2 points for that.
I practice it on a daily basis, so I'm getting pretty good at it.
Excellent.
Now, so, yeah, I was going to make a Parkway joke about, you drive on a Parkway and you park in a driveway, but he didn't seem like he was in the mood for some of my jokes. But
yeah, that would have been bad. They would have arrested you.
That's assaulting an officer with bad humor. Yeah,
exactly. Exactly. That's why it felt like me the other night when we were doing the parent-teacher conferences. It was trying out some of my new jokes on the parents. Maybe it's not the best time to try out some new jokes, but listen, we do what we can. Some of them went over pretty well. I did have 2 or 3 kids come in and say that I was their favorite parent-teacher conference the other night. So I'm not bragging, but whoo-hoo.
What are you, Thomas the Tank Engine here?
That's right. I'm used to fly. Yeah. No, I'm used to flat rate and workout, so I just get them in, get them done, get them out, they get the next car in, get done. So it's not like I need to sit and talk all night.
That's right. You got 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's 5 minutes, right?
So what's the plans for next week?
Next week, what do you got, Vic?
You know what? I have the lights coming in for the trailer, and I accidentally had them shipped here, so I am going to be shipping them out to you.
Nope.
No.
I got to go pick up the truck, so I might as well bring them.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I still have to, I still have to exchange the front. What was that unit that we used? Like a storage unit that we were supposed to have on the tongue?
Taste buds?
So I'm going to go do the exchange for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was a storage unit for the tongue of the trailer. So because it didn't fit, so I'm going to see if I can go do the exchange for that tomorrow, and I'll send that down with you with the lights.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what I need to do this upcoming week for me, and of course start planning the menu for the Atlanta race. For the Atlanta race. Yeah, we're booked, ready to go for that, and it's not next week. You keep thinking it is, but it's not.
Nope. I just want to be ready.
I know. We're like, what are we, like 2 weeks out? 3 weeks on the calendar?
3 might be 2.5. I leave in 2.5.
Okay. All right.
And then you guys are slackers on flying, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. I'll be flying right out. I think I have to drive like 20 minutes to the airport here for the little tiny fly out airport. So I think, Alan, you're what, like an hour and a half behind me, right?
Yes. Yeah. My landing times are almost exactly an hour and a half behind on getting there and departure. So.
Yeah. So I think maybe we should look up an Uber.
You two will just have to spend a little time in the hotel bar there, have some dinner, and then I show up, or Uber or something.
Yeah.
Whatever, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. I'll probably hang out and see if we can grab an Uber.
Because how far? Yes, I don't know how far the airport is from the race.
Yeah, I don't know either.
So that's another.
But we'll figure that out next.
Yeah, we got to get hotel rooms too.
Okay.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, that's what my upcoming.
Let's see, my upcoming week. Yeah, we gotta just finish up the truck so we can get that thing back on the trailer and get that down the road.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on I did pick up a new welder, so I got to work on getting that socket installed in my house somewhere so we can make some fire. We need to finish up whatever we're doing as far as tires for the truck. And, again, just looking forward to, the next steps in getting the motor and transmission out of the Camaro and all the pieces that we'll need to do to make that work in another vehicle. So, things like programming the engine commuter.
Do you think the front will be done in time for the pickup next week?
I should be able to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I had to strip the bed down for our fuel cell install, so they're not doing anything with that. And you saw the pieces I had. I just have to mock out how I actually want to attach it, and that should be good. There isn't too much going on with that.
Would a splitter stiffen that? I was thinking about it.
Well, okay, so the splitter is going to be a horizontal piece sticking out from a front air dam. That will actually put more stress on what I'm doing. It may reinforce it, but then by having the lip sticking out and any air getting caught by the air dam swirls there and actually pushes down on the splitter somewhat.
Okay.
And it might, yeah, and that's why I chose the metal I did, because it had the nice 90-degree angle at the bottom. So I thought it'd be good to just attach a flat piece of something sticking out.
Sounds good.
Even if it's 2-3 inches, just to get a little something out of it. So that's my plan for that. Bill, what do you got coming up this week?
Are you coming over, Alan?
Yes, I will be doing the after Turkey Day endeavors.
Okay, good. All right.
I don't think I'm bringing the boy because his ice time practices start at 5 a.m. Monday morning. So I don't think we want to have him away for the weekend and then start that early with practices on Monday. So it may just be me.
All right. Sounds good.
Excellent. Bill, what do you got coming this upcoming week? I know we covered it a bit. Anything else?
Got to make a final decision on whether we're getting a third set of tires, prepping for the fuel cell part 2 on the install on the Ombre. We got to do the fuel cell, we have to do the exhaust, and we have to maybe finish up on a wing and the aero stuff. So I've been talking to the neighbor next door. We're going to borrow his garage for a while. So I've got to get us a source of heat because apparently it's going to be cold, and just trying to make sure we're set for that. The other thing I've been working on is trying to see how I'm going to pull the engine and transmission out of the Capri so that I can bring it over to bring it to its donor Camaro and see if we can get that done ahead of time. Weather is not cooperating. We're supposed to get, maybe 8 inches of snow tonight. So tomorrow night. So we'll see how this goes.
Always fun. Always fun. I was going to say, I do have a kerosene-powered torpedo heater we can send along in the trailer as well to get a little bit of warmth in there. You just gotta wear more layers. That's right. Isn't that what you do? Do you know what electrical outlets they have at this said garage that we need to be welding in? That's the kind of a question.
I do not.
I know they have 110.
Yeah, a lot of the key of us working is being able to weld, so we need electricity to do that.
Well, they have electricity in there.
They do have electricity for sure. I just don't know. Do they need 240 or?
I'm not sure. Which is Jeff bringing a welder? Because I have a 110 welder. Probably will do most of everything we need. It's just a question of, let me get in touch with Jeff and see what he wants to do.
Yeah, and if we need to, I can buy a compressor. I mean, not a compressor, a generator.
Okay. Well, I have a generator here that does like 30 amp and stuff too. So, you can load all that stuff in.
Okay. If only we had a trailer there.
I know. No, so to store it in, that'd be great.
You can.
I have a funny story. I just got the socket from school from my coworker, and he says, yeah, bring it home, make sure it works. I'm looking all over the house for this, not brand new, but new to me welder. And I can't find it. Go to my son, who's the aptly named Finder. So, all right, kid, where's the welder? He's like, looks at me, he says, trailer. I'm like, it's in the race trailer. So, lucky me, it was in there, nice dry storage, and I was able to figure out we do have the right socket. So that's a good story. And to wrap up that story, I also have an air compressor we can bring along as well if we need it.
Oh, okay. I don't have one, so that would be.
Yeah, so that's all, I actually just picked up another one, so it's easily transportable.
Sweet.
Learning how to fly.
So let's see. So we're continuing on with our team summary from our previous episode. We've covered most of a good bit of our background as far as our different cars and that sort of thing. Now we wanted to move on to some of the team skills and roles that fit within a team and who's taking care of what. Vicki, how you feeling? You want to jump in on this one?
The team manager. I think as a team manager goes, I would say that would be probably Bill.
Usually.
Am I correct? Yeah. Yeah, the team manager, Bill kind of is the driving force for all of this. And he is a highly organized person as it is, almost to the point of being a robot.
Wow.
Yeah, but in a good way. So he's very on point and is a list man, a heavily detailed list man. So he definitely drives it all. So any comment on that, Bill?
Well, I try to. The problem is I don't know it all, which drives me absolutely batty. So I usually try to make sure we have a schedule, make sure we have things in place, make sure we're all lined up and going. But I have to rely on you to lead the paddock area, and I rely on Alan to help us with whatever we need to do related to the cars. And, the only thing that I can do is, keep things organized, put things away, go get parts, set driving orders, things like that. And then in between races, I tend to try to make sure that we got our lists together and we make sure we work through things and we prioritize things and, follow up. And, I have a tendency to not forget things. So I tend to be a pain, but,
Yeah, but if I think you definitely need that one person on your team that is detail oriented and a general leader to hold everything together. That is definitely helpful, at least until you get everything, you start to understand how all the functions work on your team. And after that, then everybody just kind of falls into their role.
hopefully.
Yeah, in theory.
Well, in theory, they all fall in.
So
Okay, all right.
yeah, so then you definitely need a person we refer to as the paddock queen or the camp queen.
Oh, do we?
Yeah, or king.
Did I get not quite get the liner notes?
It doesn't say queen on my
I don't know the
notes. Maybe
spelling and all that, but that's fine. That's fine.
You know what? It could be a
It could just
king.
be a
It could be a
pronunciation
queen.
thing. Yeah. All right.
It could be a mom.
Oh, there we go. That's what it is.
But I was always referred to. Was introduced to it as queen or king. But anyway, that is the person that holds camp together, organizing the food, organizing the supply, and keeping that area running and functioning a lot easier. It could, make sure you have your water coolers. You don't really have to worry about the bedding, but it's mostly meal preps and making sure everybody is on schedule for that. Make sure you have everything with that.
Right, and the other part of that is you're not making the beds, but you're like, hey, this person's staying there, they're camping their hotel, and then and then how are we feeding them, right? That's basically the
Right. Basically,
room
yeah.
and board.
Understanding who's sleeping where and what, but mostly it's just having one or two people in charge of feeding and making what are you drinking, what are you eating, the water coolers, and of course there's going to be cleanup, and camp maintenance and making sure everything stays organized. So that you definitely need the one person in charge of that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that from having from our last race, we had the water and the Gatorade, 5-gallon jugs or whatever available. It was great because you're hustling around, you're running, doing so many different things. You forget, I just need something to drink. Like I don't want to go, like buy something or whatever.
We have the 5-gallon jugs. I mean, they 5 gallons, the 5-gallon water coolers. Like you said, one's filled with water, one could fill with Gatorade. And, for us, we didn't have the Gatorade. We had lemonade, which was good in the summertime because we had a lot of teens and kids in our group. So usually also when you're with a paddock, you definitely want to keep your trash to a minimum as much as possible because some of the places that you go, it's trash in, trash out. Whatever you do, you have to take it out with you. So minimizing that is pretty imperative. So obviously you can have your disposable plates. That's kind of a given. But if you can have, say, for instance, cups.
Right, the travel mugs,
right,
or
travel mugs,
I know a lot of times I'll bring a Sharpie and put the name on the red cup, solo cup, so that you're using the same one.
So if everybody has whether it be a mug or what are those things that we use, Bill? They're called Nalpreens. Is that right? Nalgenes are very large cups. They kind of fit nicely. They hold a lot of water. So if you have kind of those, we have a couple of those. You can get them at Walmart. I think you can get something similar to it like a Home Depot, but they're larger. They hold a lot more water. And if you could have everybody just is assigned one and just maintains it all day, that's easier because I think actually cups create a lot of trash. Definitely manage your trash on the way in or for the way out. That's a big one. What else do we do about Camp Mom? Yeah, I think it's just maintenance. Just trying to keep everything neat and clean. So we have a tendency to bring griddles. We have the collapsible grill, but somebody had actually come along on the Three Pedal Mafia and they bring a large griddle. It's almost the size of a grill, but it just cooks massive amounts of food on it at one time. They use it to cook pancakes. They use it
Bacon.
and bacon, right? That was huge. So when we go out and we have our meals
with bacon
for the camp, we usually bring a crock pot. I have a tendency to bring 2 crock pots because you can actually have a breakfast going and then you can have dinner going at the same time, which is helpful. And then let me see, what else do we do? That having that large grill, which I think we're going to invest in next, that griddle grill, it has a grill top that goes on it.
Right. So for those of you who can't picture this, it's a gas grill, but it just has the flat, solid metal cooking plate like a commercial kitchen.
Exactly. Right, because we tried it with the collapsible grills that we had. I think they were like the little Coleman's travel grills. And we just had so many people and it's just trying to cook that much food at one time. Plus we also were carrying 2 griddles, which we kept kind of snapping out. Generator?
And that was another situation where you gotta, where propane may be better because we were trying to run these 2 griddles off my little baby generator that was not really
right. So, but I saw them do it with this propane. I'm like, oh my God, that's so ingenious, especially if a large team. Now, when we buddy up with them, there are times that I know for our group, sometimes our group can be 4 and it could be up to 16. 18 people when you start having family come in. Combining that with a second team, there's a lot of food that has to be cooked. And you can go ahead and go have your breakfast sandwiches or whatever, but we try to give everybody else like a solid breakfast to go out. So we'll do the pancakes, pre-cook the bacon
Partially.
before you go, and then just throw it on the
Yes.
grill. Right. Throw it on the grill and have it walk out with it, or your egg dishes. But preparing frozen crock-pot meals with crock-pot liners so you don't have to do the cleanup is huge. Prepare
And
them.
I'm gonna throw a little extra note on there.
Uh-huh.
If you freeze your crock pot meal in a container that's almost the same shape as your crock pot, it's gonna warm up a lot quicker.
Yep.
It'll
Right.
work either way, but there's
Mhm.
a subtlety sometimes,
Right, there is to it. So whatever you could do with a crock pot. I see a lot of crock pots when I'm out at the racetracks. So we
Doing your paddock espionage.
in your paddock espionage, yes, I do check out, see what people are doing. And so that's always very helpful to do that. And that way, you're not just trying to eat something quick. You're not trying to eat lunch meat meals or hot dogs or hamburgers. You're actually having something solid. And when you guys are working and running the way you are, you use up a lot of calories. So you're going to be hungry early. So certainly, so that makes everything easy. I like to pack a fresh bowl of fruit so people just grab stuff on the go. So you're not eating junk just for snacking. Just have something that's, healthy and ready to go.
I thought they were wax.
No, they're not wax.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so those things have worked out well for us in the paddocked area.
Yeah, because a lot of the races don't necessarily have a full kitchen or restaurant or any place you can go to conveniently.
Yeah, some do.
But then it's more money. It's a pain in the neck. It's it's a lot of work. This is where the fact that we're able to combine, work together. Maybe one group makes the pancakes, the other person cooks up the eggs, or some of that kind of stuff, and then you have options to eat from. It just makes it so much easier to be able to just grab something quick, because even if you had like a hired catered service to come,
Right.
everyone's not necessarily eating at the same time.
Yeah. But you know what? We'll do an episode on just, the paddock queen or the paddock king, and just ideas and preps and ways that
Very nice.
you can simplify your meal plans, simplify how to work, what works really well, fast cleanup. Like you said, you want to do everything as fast as possible, as convenient as possible. But there's certainly some tricks that we've learned along the way, and we've only been in like 5 races, so 3 races, 4 races. What are we at now? 4? But
this will be 4.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm forever looking at seeing how everybody is doing their thing and what's the fastest way that we can get in and out.
That that sounds awesome, and I am
I
so
think
glad
that
you
would be good.
volunteered to lead up that episode. That's great. We're going to put that on the schedule.
I'll be like Alan on the Stan Lee episode. I'll just sit in the back.
Awesome. So let's talk about some of the other things we got going on in our fabulous.
Sounds good.
Exactly.
Yep, I eat
Yeah,
that
no,
too.
I like to eat
Yep.
food. Yep. Oh yeah. Just trying to help out here. Just trying to help out. That's right. Yeah, yeah. That's good. Yeah. Oh yeah. So Vicki, who else do we have on our team? We got a team manager. We got someone the camp paddock.
Paddock.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
So next we got to have someone that does the wrenching and fixing.
Yep.
And that in this case that's typically going to be me on this team, or whoever else. Whoever else steps in. We've had Pete and I had some awesome work sessions there over in the blazing sun and pouring rain of beautiful Connecticut. I know Jeff and everybody else had so much fun over at New Hampshire. So for us, it kind of ebbs and flows depending on who's where, what we got going on. So getting into the racing, all right, the car's running in theory, and then kind of for each car, we can have a lead mechanic, someone that's like in charge of that, so that if I'm not available, hey, go to this person, and then if that's not working, then we, phone a friend or just cry. Either way. Radios. What about electronics, telemetry, GoPros? What are you thinking on this? Talk to me.
Well, we usually try to have somebody be responsible for that. We like to have it be somebody who's not techno-Amish, so Vicki can't do this.
Oh, I can wire it though.
Yeah, okay. And forget to turn it on. But yes. So the radios are a big deal. We have figured out, with the help of some people at Lemons, how to have all of our radios on one line. Now we just have to figure out how to get them all to be plugged in. The GoPro, we have successfully taped probably, 3 hours of driving in the 40-something hours of driving we've done. So we still have work to do there. And the telemetry, we have telemetry for both cars set up, and we have never turned it on. So that's one of the goals for Atlanta, is to actually have the telemetry going. So we'll see if we can pull that off. That would be a nice change, since we have it.
Absolutely. All right, so we got the electronics sorted out. Hopefully we're gonna have our radios going. The GoPro might be a nice addition. I know we definitely will have some telemetry going. And then the food and drink meister for longer driving stints, you definitely need to have some sort of beverage in the car. But going back to camp, you also have some drink there, and it's not a bad idea to have your beverages ready for your next stint and that sort of thing.
Yeah, somebody just to top it off and keep it, make sure it doesn't go dry, and make sure there's, the worst thing is when you go there and you go get a glass of water and it's like warm.
Right. Or empty.
Make sure there's ice.
Yeah.
Yeah, empty's bad, warm is worse.
Right, yeah.
So,
Right. Now, Three Pedal Mafia, for their drink, they have those camel packs that they put in the car.
Yeah, the Camelback is just basically a plastic bladder you can suck the water out of. It's got a little valve on the end. You bite it, and then it lets the water through. Definitely used quite a bit for, I use it for mountain biking.
Right.
Short of that branded item, we can just get like a, quart thermos and just put a tube in it and drink right through that. That's the other less quite so high tech. But the Camelback, the nipple on the end is really nice because you just bite it and then you get the water, and it's not like dumping water down your chest or whatever the case may be. So that's definitely a good idea, just because
we haven't really needed those because our stints are short.
No, not yet. We haven't, not yet.
Well, that's because we're lightweights.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, I'm not going to say wimpy, but I'm not going to argue if you do.
Atlanta, we have no choice because right now 3 of us are doing this, so our stints will be longer.
Indeed.
Yes. We had shorter stints when we were racing. We had so many people.
Don't worry, I'll still complain about seat time, okay? I'm not going to either way. We'll find something to complain about.
You complain about too much seat time. Everybody else complains about not enough.
We all have our issues, okay? We're just trying to work through it. So keeping our drivers and crew properly, I wouldn't want to say liquefied, but hydrated would be better. We also have to keep some liquids in the vehicles. So our fuel supply is definitely something you have to think about. You got to start off with a full tank of gas, hopefully, if you don't like just stopping for gas on the hot pit and wasting time and whatever. And then you need to know about how much gas you're going to need for the day, for the weekend, and then when the next time you need to put gas in the car. Typically, teams are going to calculate about the gallons per hour that you're going to use in your vehicle. And it's not going to vary too much, but depending on track and driving, some. So then you'll say, all right, this car takes about 5 gallons per hour. So after, 2 hours, we're going to need to add 10 gallons or we will have used 10 gallons. When do we need to add the next amount? Do we want to do 1 stop for a lot of gas, or do we want to do 2 stops for less gas? That's all.
And part of the gas supply is that they have particular carts that they roll around with. Some people have them on the back of, motorized, whatever gadgets that they're riding. They've done that too. So for us, we have a collapsible wagon that we use. It kind of holds 2, and then we have a bucket to hold our lids because we keep losing our lids. But certainly people have pulled up with garden carts to lug those around. They can hold up to, I think, they hold 3 containers if you have the garden cart to get you back and forth. So you certainly want at least 2 to get you into the track, into the pit area.
3 would be better though.
Yeah. And of course, when you do this, you also have your sign to let everybody know that you're, where to come in. So we use a tray. When you do this, you have to have a tray and your fire extinguisher in your cart. And our tray has the car number on it, but apparently the car number is not working. So we're just going to have to put our team logo on it so people know when they pull up in the hot pit exactly where they have to stop at, or to signal the car that's going around where you're going to be parked.
Right. Very nice. Very nice. So what else do we need? So we got the gas, we got the pits. Inevitably, throughout a race weekend, most of the time, there may be some parts or supplies that needed. So you're going to need to know where those parts and supplies can be secured from and who's going to go get them. I think I sent my brother on an errand with some other teammates, from our other friends there over in New Hampshire. All these things got to get done. And then moving on, after you've done some work, you're fixing, you're wrenching, the car's back on the track, you got to clean up after yourself. As I like to say, your mom don't work here, you got to clean up after yourself.
Wait, who said that?
It's nice to have someone come around behind with a rag and just...
You said that?
I don't, yeah. But I said that today, actually. It was right at work. Anyway, I did, yeah. I didn't say it was my thoughts. I just said it.
Yeah, but to have that one person that's in there to maintain the shop itself, because usually the mechanic is so busy with his head up and under and around the car that tools kind of end up everywhere. So having that one person that's kind of, it's almost like the sous chef of the garage. He's kind of going behind and prepping the areas again so tools can be easily found. That's always very, very helpful. somebody does garage maintenance.
I definitely found that very helpful in New Hampshire as I was
Yeah,
maybe throwing tools everywhere. And I would just try to put them in a pile when I was
right.
done. I'm like, all right, somebody get these put away so I can use them again next time and
Yeah,
take them
and we
out
were,
and then
and
put them back and, stuff like that.
yeah, we have this cabinet now on our end that actually has a place for
What's that?
every tool. So now we know exactly what's missing, which is very cool.
Yes.
It is helpful.
Which is definitely helpful. And then moving on from just the tools you're using, just the general paddock area. It's nice to have a general concept of, hey, where should these go? Well, why don't you put the jack stands next to the floor jack because you're going to use them together. All right, let's put them over to the side so the handle doesn't fall down and trip somebody. Just general, have a general layout for where you want things to be within your pit area, whether that be in an out back pit that's just on pavement or dirt if you're not lucky, or if you're inside a covered, maybe heated paddock with a bench and some of that kind of stuff, the different races. So that's just a good idea to have a general idea of what, where you want certain things to do. Do you want your toolboxes at the front or the back of the garage? Do you want to have, your tires put over here? Most places will not allow you to store any fuel inside of a vehicle because surprise, surprise, it could burn down.
Right. And then, of course, many people that have the paddocks, they have their trailer right across from their opening. So, definitely if there's other stuff, they just keep a majority of their stuff in their trailer that is a little bit more remote that they don't necessarily need right away. So it's kind of fall back on.
Yeah, several times it was I need to get this.
Yeah, kind of keep it close.
I need this. All right, let me go get that out of the trailer. You don't pull everything out of the trailer. You have it right there needed.
Yeah, most of the immediate stuff. Yeah, most immediate. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
Bulldozer.
interrupt.
No problem.
Most immediate stuff is in the garage. So
right, and then hopefully. So then, all right. So you got your paddock. You got your general idea where you want stuff. Then we need to talk about car prep for each night or for the next day. So with any luck at the end of your race day, everything has gone super smooth and nothing is broken on your car. However, in some of our experiences,
does that happen?
I've heard it does once upon a time.
That would be fun.
But some of the things that we've seen, not always, sometimes things burn up or melt down or leak out or whatever could happen. So you want to have some sort of assessment of how did you make it through the day? Is everything still working? And what do I need to do for tomorrow? Do I need to replace the front brake pads? Do I need to change the oil? Do I need to check tire pressures? Do I need to check tire wear? Whatever happened to your car, what do you need to do to get it ready for the next day? And the best thing for all this is really just a checklist, depending on what your first practice day checklist. Okay, does everyone fit in the car? That sort of thing.
The whiteboard.
Yeah, I think the whiteboard's very helpful. Just as far as just keeping certain things organized.
Right.
Once in a while, sometimes I forget things.
What?
I know it sounds silly, but
well, you know what? The nice thing is that having the whiteboard in the paddock and having everybody's roles put on the whiteboard, and then that way everybody knows what they're doing. And then as things start to happen, there's a general place people can go and write it. That way, if they have to run out to go get anything, there's a whole checklist right there that everybody has a visual. We used the whiteboard at our last race. We didn't have it before, and we saw somebody had it in their paddock area. And oh my God, the last race that we had, that made everything so much more easier. We also were able to put racers in their orders so that everybody knew who was up next. It wasn't a question.
Right, the driver lineup. All right, who's first, who's next, and then along with that, not just who's on first.
Right.
It's what time are they in or out. Right. Okay, so they're coming out at 10:15. All right, so then they know the next driver, you got to be in the pits at 10 o'clock ready to go so that in case something coming early, they need help, you're there. On a not so happy note, if you're having issues in your pits and you you desperately need a certain part, maybe say a certain type of lubricating fluid for a transmission or a differential or something like that, you could take the whiteboard in an emergency and erase it and write wanted 1 quart of ATF or whatever that fabulous thing may be, like spark plugs or ignition wires or whatever you could need. It's nice to have the whiteboard to just carry around like a sandwich board and see if you can solicit some help from your fellow racers, because typically they're very helpful.
Definitely.
So yes, the whiteboards are great for the driver lineup, and it's really good to have the timing in there so that everyone remembers. So maybe I know when I'm supposed to go on and when I'm supposed to go off, but I can't remember when driver B is supposed to be racing. So then we can look it up. Oh, okay, that's what it is. All right, we had a delay, so let's move everybody's times back. Well, again, with it written down, it's nice and easy to take a look at that and get it going.
You could have the pit stop person role and other roles as well.
Yeah, the pit stops, it's important to at least you talk about it ahead of time, and whether you stick with it or not, it's fine, but at least have it set down. All right, you're on fire extinguisher, you're on gas. You're just standing back watching
Yeah.
in case we need something. And then at least everyone knows, all right, this is what we're supposed to do. And it goes
Yeah.
much smoother.
And of course, again, like in the pit areas, I think we might have said it on our last episode, was having your place to drop your helmets and your gloves. The shoes and the racing suit, not so much. But as soon as that person pulls into the garage, they just take their helmet off and their gloves, and they go and kind of crash and have a seat somewhere. All of a sudden, now you got stuff starting to end up. So as long as they have a place to throw their helmet, whether it be a rolling rack, collapsible rack, or I don't know, a coat rack, helmet stand, however you want to do it, just a place that's designated for that.
Yeah.
Not the floor.
Not the floor.
Not the trailer.
Nope. You got to get that stuff up and out of the way. And of course, you could put your folding chairs in your paddock area also. Place to be comfortable.
Not in the back of a Kia.
Not in the back of a Kia, so mom can drive away with them.
Not in the back of the Kia. Nope, exactly. And along with the driver lineups, who's on first, who's on next, what time they're going. Typically, you want to have somebody on the radio. For our team, it's if we're running 2 cars, which we have done for a very brief moment. It worked nice to have one person on the radio because then they could talk to both cars. And with both cars on the same frequency, it was nice to talk between the cars, which is kind of convenient. Hey, watch out on turn 3. There's some idiot, backwards, upside down. Take a look for that.
Our response, what's turn 3?
What's that? Turn 3? Yeah.
Our usual response would be, which one's turn 3?
Yeah, exactly. Is that the one I go straight at? Yeah, that's the one. You got it.
Yeah, that's the straight. No, that's the one Vicki goes straight at.
Exactly.
And then the flagger goes, what are you doing?
I need the radios.
I don't know. All right. So we've kind of covered quite a bit of what it takes to run our fabulous amateur endurance racing team. What kind of goals do we have looking forward? Where have we come from? Where are we going? What are we looking to do for the end of this year into next year? Who wants to lead me off here?
I don't know. We are always talking about team goals. Bill,
Yes.
team goals?
Well, first thing that comes to mind is, having cars that run and getting a lot of laps in. I think that's most important for where we are in our racing experience level right now. I think the next thing I'd like to do is get to the point where we finish kind of middle of the pack. And in an ideal way, I'd like everybody to be aligned with that. The problem is we're going to have people who aren't. And that's going to be something where we'll have to deal with in the coming years. There's going to be people who, it's really just a game. And then there's going to be other people who take it to be, super duper competitive. And then there's going to be people all around in between. And, the best way for our team to function would be to have similar aspirations. And that's why I always keep harping on what's our team goals? What are we trying to do? And, we're not at a level either with our car or with our drivers that we could, try to set track records or try to win, C or B, or definitely not A. But that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to get better. And that's why I say if we can get a lot of laps, finish races, ideally somewhere in the middle, I'd be really happy for next year. Maybe a couple of years down the road, we start looking at how do we win Class C or how do we win Class B, but I don't think we have that capability either in our car or in our driving to do that.
Right. And it is really important, even though we are a racing team, our goal isn't necessarily to win whatever, right? Any of it necessarily. We're, I'm here to have fun and promote the sport and see what's out there to do. But yeah, it certainly can cause some friction amongst the team if you have some that are just happy putting laps in and they're not so concerned, and others that are hell bent on their fastest lap and that sort of thing. So
fast lap equals accidents.
Yes, it certainly can, which is why I'm happy to say that I've been very safe on the track. Moving on to personal goals.
You have to go faster to get less saves.
I know. Well, listen, I was instructed based on my team leader to go 8/10, so I went, 8/10. That's right.
Not 0.8 tenths though.
No, listen. It's all the rounding errors. Strictly rounding errors.
No.
So moving on, if we have, so we got some team goals. I think, from my viewpoint, the team goals is to get people out there.
Yep.
And I think we've been very successful to have a first time racer at the 2 races I've been to, at least, right?
Every race so far.
Right. Yeah. So, I think in that sense, we're right on target. We're knocking them out the park. I think it's important to listen. I'm not too ashamed to say I'm doing a great job. And it's good. It's good to have the personal goals.
Tell us how great a job you're doing. Don't Don't leave us hanging.
Wow. We don't have all day.
That's true.
We have a few more minutes, though, don't we?
Yeah, we.
So,
But enough about me. What do you think about me?
the personal goals, it's good to at least have some idea of what they are, like, and you need to reassess these sometimes. Like, all right, what's my goal for today? What are we trying to do with this aspect of whatever we're doing, and go forward with that. And sometimes just talking about them, and definitely having those try to align with the team goals. Maybe my goal is to get out there and not get a black flag. That'd be nice to do sometime. Maybe it's good to go out there and not run out of gas, or not hit somebody, or not forget where the pit lane is. There's a lot of things you can get and achieve personal goals without getting fastest lap, either in your team or on the track or ever, or anything, and I know from my coaching days of the youngsters, that the 6, 7, 8-year-olds playing hockey, I would set goals for them that had nothing to do with the scoreboard, so that whether we win or lose, we could still be successful. Again, just a little evidence of how successful I am. Bill, what do you think about personal goals?
Well, like I said, we have, already got a 30, 40-minute podcast already. And if we start doing personal goals, I might take another 30 or 40 minutes. So my goals would be, be able to drive the car better, handle the car better, learn tracks faster. I'm more interested at this point in what my average time lap is versus what my fastest time lap is. The thing that I keep trying to explain to some of our drivers, that's code for Liam, is if you try to drive the fastest lap possible, you're going to, especially at the levels we're at, you're going to mess up. What you try to do is try to do the best turn possible. And then they just add up. And then the time is what the time is.
Yeah.
And some of your laps, they're going to be yellow flags. Nothing you can do about it. Some of the laps, you're going to be in a lot of traffic. Nothing you can do about it. Some of the laps, you're going to make a mistake. Something you can do about it. But if you make a mistake on turn 7, it doesn't affect you on turn 8.
Yeah. When you're
or
out
9.
here, you can't race another driver. You have to race the track, and you have to better your own driving skills. But if you single out a person on the racetrack and say, that's the person I'm going to go beat, you're going to end up wrecking the car.
Like in a tire wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did that. I don't know who that was.
No, I have no idea.
Yes. So it's good to have personal goals. It's good to try to line them up with what we're trying to do, and hopefully that lines up with team goals, and then together we are very successful. So having friends at the track is critical, just as far as just seeing what other people are doing. Hey, how do you do this? How do you get this over here? What do you think about that? I know many times at the last race in New Hampshire where, hey, come take a look at this. I don't know what this is supposed to look like, so you take a look at it. Well, I don't really know either. Let me go check with this guy. Maybe he's got it. So it was very helpful to have friends around that will help you out and support you. And in our case, it has been the 3-Pedal Mafia. They've been very supportive in taking us under their wing through mechanical, physical, emotional support, all that kind of good stuff, and some good food off that griddle, and occasionally a yummy chocolate chip cookie. So thanks to all the moms out there that like to make us chocolate chip cookies.
Whose mom makes the chocolate chip
Chrissy's
cookies?
mom.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Hi, Chrissy's mom.
Oh, that's right.
So along the way, with we have any other thing that comes up at the track. If it's raining, can you make sure your car is going to stay dry overnight? If it's too cold, is your radiator going to freeze? That's just some of the different things that you need to figure out in order to make things go smooth.
Now, one of the things that I saw that was quite clever is when in the events of rain, usually when you're at the camps, everybody has those tents that they put up, just the canopies. So if it happens to rain, or you're just putting your car away for the night, they just lower that thing right over the car where the driver is. I guess to keep the dew off, to keep the rain off, or whatever. But I was like, that's really clever. And then they just go about their business, so.
Yeah, and I've done that in my home, my house
Yeah.
too, with the typical like 10 by 10, expanding pop-up type tent that you drop it down low, and then it's kept my convertible dry a couple times. And along the lines of friends at the track, listen, if someone's coming out there, we've been registered on quite a few of the East Coast Lemons races. You are welcome to come pair up with us if you happen to be so desperate or worse that might work. So we're certainly welcome to that. We'd like to, we may or may not be able to get you in the driver's seat, but we certainly can show you what it takes to do. And I know some of our guests that we've brought along have just enjoyed the show. just seeing what all the dance and the hoopla that is the dust trying to get a car around the track a couple times and not run out of gas. So even if you're not racing, again, on personal goals, it can be a lot of fun just being in the pits.
Mm-hmm.
I know as a lifelong...
We're not good, but we are probably pretty entertaining running around like our chickens without our heads on. So,
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I know for me as a lifelong gearhead, just the smell of the gear oil in the pits and stuff is usually just enough for me. So
Yeah, and just things in the pit area in Lemons gets a little nutty anyway. So
it is. There's quite an eccentric vibe going on there. And we love it. So let's see. Other things that come up as they go. We talked about weather and rain, some of that kind of stuff. Overall costs, depending on what level you're in at, there's different levels you can get in at.
it's a $500 car. I mean, that's all it is.
Exactly. Yeah.
it is not a $500 car.
I did. Yeah. I did have one of my students today looking over the list, the build sheet, as it were, for our race truck. Wait, that's not $500. Wait, those tires, that's not $500. Wait, hold on, slow down. Those are safety items. Those are wear items. We're allowed, a little leeway here.
So, do we want to go into overall costs?
You can
Okay.
do that.
Well, okay, so I think we can agree that it's not going to be free, right? The series that we're running in is Lemons, and typically to enter a car that you already own, just the registration fees for the car, 4 drivers, camping, and that sort of thing. What are we?
It's about $1,500 round numbers.
Mhm.
Yeah, depending, you figure 15 to $2,000, depending on. I know New Hampshire had their own little extra fee for each driver because they were so proud of their facility or whatever it is.
Practice costs different. If you do get a garage, the garage costs more.
Yeah, depending on where you go.
Mhm.
So you get in the door at $1,500, and again, that's assuming you already own a car that's going to pass
Mhm.
technical for safety and the like. You're going to want to have at least a set or 2 of tires. Obviously, burn through some gas. That's how these cars run, or diesel.
And with the gas, they have on-site gas pumps, but it's more expensive. If you load up, usually there's a gas station relatively close by. If you load up pretty heavily, you can go ahead and do that. And if you've got the person out running errands, they do that too. There's also, if you're running more than one car, there's also the 55-gallon drum with a pump in it. So there's that option also.
Right, and these are all different ways that you can somewhat control the cost, if you will, right? You're
Right.
not going to necessarily have to pay $5 a gallon for gas. Maybe we can get it for $3, a couple miles away, but that comes with an inconvenience. So there's a time and effort cost in that too. So there's a lot of ways to keep the cost down. Certainly finding someone that can fix cars and have them on your team rather than paying a shop to do it. That's a good way to go. As far as getting a car, to start, you're probably better off buying one from someone else that's already ready to go, and you're probably going to be in the $2,000 to $3,000, maybe $4,000 range, depending on how much you get. Right? If you can find a car that's got spare wheels, that's awesome, because then you can change them out nice and easily. Are the safety belts up to spec? Does it have the right seat? For the upcoming season for Lemons, every vehicle must have onboard fire extinguishers. There's costs involved there. Obviously, tools to work on the cars. I can't really put a number on that. You're going to have a certain, set of basic hand tools. It's nice to have some power tools, some drills, some saws, some of that kind of stuff. And some of that does, cross over from your home items, a hacksaw or super sawzall or certain things like that. So safety gear per driver is going to probably be right in about the $500 range. Listen, if you want the fancy race suit, like some of our drivers that have all the flashy bells and whistles, it's going to cost a little more if you want a nice new one. We've been very lucky with buying some used professional race suits. So you put this thing on, it's got a bunch of patches and stuff, sponsors all over it that you have no idea who they are, and you look like a pro, and you get out. I think I was in right at about the $200 range for a Spec 5 race suit. There's a helmet that's going to be, maybe $200 to $300. Some race shoes, right? You have to have specific race shoes. You have to have fireproof socks, the specific rating glove. And again, depending on what series you're running, what year you're running, we're mainly focusing on the 24 Hours of Lemon series. So that's what the gear I've been getting. But, it's going to be an easy $500. I've been lucky within my family. I've been sharing my helmet with my son, and I have a second race suit that he can also fit in. So that's helped keep my cost down a bit as I ease my way into it. And so my wife doesn't see me spending quite so much money all at once. So gas, it's gonna be a couple bucks for gas, especially if you mistakenly grab the wrong pump and you're at $12 a gallon. that gets a little pricier, but you're going to need some gas. We haven't had much luck yet with the 55-gallon drum, just as far as logistics and the weight of it. That can be an issue. The gas cans themselves, they're typically 5 to 6 gallon cans, and I think they're in the $50 to $75 range. I'm not 100% sure. Bill might have a better idea on that. And yeah, they're about $100 each for the cans. And you can get away with the same one you fill your lawnmower with, but just understand that this is a race and some people like to go faster. And it takes a lot longer to fill your car with those slow filling gas cans, not like the fancy ones that NASCAR have with the big tube that go very fast. So as far as car upgrades, you may want to upgrade the car brakes. Stock brakes really aren't usually strong enough to handle the type of racing we put them under. So the brake fluid has to be changed out. We're going to go with a .5 synthetic, I believe it is, brake fluid, which has a higher boiling point, which is, again, better for racing. It can handle the heat better. You can get custom brake pads made, surprisingly enough, not just the standard ones off the shelf at your favorite auto parts store, but you can get a racing pad that's much more reliable and it's going to handle the heat. I believe there's people like Porterfield out there that will make custom brake pads for you to your car's needs. So you can even send in your worn out parts. They'll rebuild them with just the right friction materials to get you out there and keep you safe. So the tires for the weekend, you're going to want to have at least, obviously, the tires on the car and at least one more set that's ready and mounted to go. If you had an issue, if you had a blowout, if you wear out your tires and you only have one extra set, you're somewhat limited. Not all the racetracks we went to had mounting and balancing facilities available for tires. So that's something, definitely you need to think about. And then as far as getting your car to and from the racetracks, you're going to need some sort of tow vehicle, right? All right, great. Your car's a daily driver. You want to race your daily driver. That's wonderful. How about that knucklehead in, insert obnoxious driver's car here that really wants to get in front of you and crams in inside the turn, knocks you both out, breaks your car, doesn't drive anymore? Well, it might be a long walk home depending on where you live from the racetrack. So you're going to want to have some sort of tow vehicle. And along with that, obviously, some sort of trailer. You could do a 2-wheel dolly trailer, right, where it just picks up 2 wheels and the other 2 wheels stay on the ground from the race car. Again, it's a cheaper option, but the downside is now you've got your race tires or race car touching the ground. If your race car gets broken up, then you may have to rent another tow truck or tow vehicle to get your car home. Moving up from the 2-wheel dolly, you're going to look at like just a flatbed trailer, and then the enclosed trailer, which is very nice to use as storage, as I've been using at the house lately for dry storage. And it keeps your car all nice and cozy and warm inside, dry out of the rain and snow. And it can keep you dry and out of the rain and snow if that happens while you're racing. So if your car breaks, then you're stuck at the track. That's no good. Along with the safety equipment, I did gloss over just a bit, was the head and neck device. The Hans device is what they call it. And those are a bit pricey, but the cost of replacing your head and neck is probably a little more than that. So
Depends on the head.
It's definitely a good idea. The fire systems are definitely going to cost. It depends on your head, exactly. The fire systems are going to be a bit pricey, and again, that's where it's nice to get a car that's all ready to go, that's racing right now. Obviously, if the car is doing well and racing strong, it's going to cost a little more money. But if it's kind of a junker, which some of these cars are, I'm being generous, you're probably going to be closer to the $5,000 to $7,000 price range to get up and get running at your first race. We will have a ton of links on the notes and from our website, Garage Heroes and Training, to check out some more of this and see what you have going on. So moving forward, if any of our listeners have any questions for us or any topics of interest that they'd like us to talk about, we would always welcome them. They can reach us at, where would you like them to reach us at? We've got Facebook. We've got, what else?
Instagram.
Instagram is a great choice.
We have our website.
You can send those right along to us, and we will do our best to answer them. I can't guarantee we will have quality answers, but yeah, we'll do our best. Yeah. And we have more details as we're moving along through our seasons and through our team building on our website. What else do you have for me, Bill?
I think that's pretty much it on my end. I don't know if Vicki's got anything to add. Did we miss anything, Vic?
Not pretty good for right now. I think that went well.
Awesome. So I would like to.
She's an easy grader.
She is. I know. Withholding comments now. All right, great. So thank you for listening to our podcast. If you have any questions or topics that you would like us to cover, please feel free to let us know at Facebook, Instagram, or our website, and we'll happy to look into those in the future. We are looking for ideas and potential guests from other forms of racing like autocrossing, SCCA, NASA, or whatever else you got out there. Please reach out to us. We're looking to get some guests on the show so we can get some other viewpoints, so it's not just our wonderful voices talking at you. And again, you can reach us at garageheroesintraining.com. Instagram is Garage Heroes in Training, and Facebook is Garage Heroes IT.
We ran out of letters.
We did run out of letters. I couldn't afford all those values. Listen, we got to cut the budget somewhere. So even better, you can leave us a rating, a 5-star rating on iTunes. Even if you don't like us, just give us that 5-star rating and tell us how terrible we are, and we will do our best to get better. At iTunes or whatever podcast app you're using, I don't want to be, segmenting out and separating people out. We'll address these questions when you leave the review. And we hope to see you out there and get racing with us at some point.
Have a great night, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
I'll send them to you because Vicki tells me I will send them to you.
Yes, because she said so. That's why you do it. Yeah. Because I said so. All right, let's get her going here. How's that?
Ready? Well, you're the host.
All right, so I like it. All right. So welcome. We are the Garage Heroes in Training Amateur Endurance Racing Team, and we would like to welcome you to our extended team. Our goal is to help you get everyone out to their race car. What kind of car? What kind of racing? It really doesn't matter to us. Hopefully, we hope to show you that if you have any interest in driving your car close to the limit, there really is no reason you can't come out and give it a go. We hope to be able to see you at anyone. All right, let me start this one more time. All right. Welcome. Wait, hold on. There we go.
Welcome to Fantasy
Welcome
Island.
to the Garage Heroes in Training Racing Team. We would like to welcome you. Welcome to the Garage Heroes in Training Racing Team. We would like to welcome you to our extended team. Our goal is to help get everyone out to their race car. What kind of car, what kind of racing, it really doesn't matter to us. We hope to show you that if you have ever had any interest in driving your car close to the limit, there really is no reason you can't come out and give it a go. We hope to be able to help you see that anyone can do it, even us. So come out with us and enjoy the ride. I'm your host for this episode, Alan.
Bill.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Wait.
And Vicky's
Well-
there too. So just trust me on that one.
No,
It's complicated.
because
Wait.
I have my mute button on.
Oh, now she's.
I was too boring. She fell asleep.
Well, you know why? Because I have a dog in here.
You had the mute button, or oh?
So I'm trying to mute out in case she's moving around.
Now she's muting when she doesn't want to mute, as opposed to the last time.
Oh,
I'm used to getting rid of
Okay.
background noise. Don't worry
you
about
have
it.
a dog. Who's watching?
I'm Vicki. You
Why
can.
do you have to watch the dog?
Well, we're off to a fantastic start here.
Uh-oh. What was that? Listen, you guys, I think you're tanking my first attempt here. I'm not really appreciating it. So I say if we can just step it up a notch.
Was a
All
tank
right,
long
let's.
before we got here.
I'll tell you what.
All right.
Just here we go. Just real quick. Just say I'm Alan. I'm Vicki. I'm Bill. Okay, ready? And he'll splice that in.
I will. How much work are you going to give me
All
on
right,
this
hold
podcast?
on, wait. I'm your host for this episode. Wait, am I supposed to say Alan? Or I'm just wait. I'm your host for this episode.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
are you Alan?
Yeah, I'm Alan, but is it episode Alan? Because I put all caps if it is. It's episode Alan. And I'm. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna go with this one.
Episode.
I'm your host for this episode.
I'm going to have an episode if we don't get through this. But that's
All right. So here we go. All right. So I'll start with I'm your host. And then.
sure. Are we going
I don't
again?
want to do the whole thing.
Do you want to start
Yeah,
over?
okay, that's fine. Hold on, let me increase the font because I'm getting old and I can't read these small letters. All right.
So it's too small?
No, that's what she said. So welcome. We are the Garage Heroes in Training Racing Amateur Endurance Racing Team. All right, one more time. Hold on. Stop. I haven't even been drinking yet. This isn't right. All right.
Hi.
Welcome.
That's okay. We started an hour and a half ago and we still haven't got through the intro.
Hey, Howard, why don't you go get a beer?
Right? That worked better last
Maybe
time.
you should be drinking.
All right.
It can't get worse.
Just leaving a little room for improvement. That's all. All right.
Let me change that color again back to yellow.
That probably worked better. Welcome. We are the Garage Heroes in Training Amateur Endurance Racing Team, and we would like to welcome you to join our extended racing team.